Well, hello there, it's Greggy Soriano and welcome to another episode of Greggy's Digest. If you're into satisfying cake decorating videos, please click on the subscribe button and ring a ding ding that little bell to get notifications every time I post a new video. I'm ridiculously excited to show you what we have in store today. I am not over the whole Kohakutou quartz crystal thing, and I've been making them like cray lately, and I just love doing them in different colors and shapes and sizes. Seriously, we are going to make a beautiful cake that is inspired by a lavender color palette with beautiful pansies. Without further ado, let's get to caking. First, we're starting off by lightly greasing these small vessels. Then we're going to boil 200 ml of water. And then we're going to add 6 grams of agar. It's kind of a funny name. Agar. Any hoodle. Apparently it's made out of seaweed. And you could also use this type as well. And add 340 grams of sugar until it's dissolved. And then pour them into your molds, and you want to color them according to the color scheme that you want to go for. I just went crazy and did a bunch of different colors. So this one I did a blue and a green, and then this one is a beautiful pink. You could use either food coloring or gel paste, and I avoid mixing it too much because I love the marbly effect. And then you want to place it into the refrigerator until it firms up. So this is what it looks like when you plop it out, and it's so much fun to play with. It's super sticky, it's kind of boogerish, but it's so much fun. And you just naturally tear them apart to make them look like rocks, and the more jagged, the better it is. And to make the quartz crystals, you kind of want to make some strips or batons, and you want to shape them to where there's like a pointy on top, so kind of like an obelisk, or yeah, exactly like an obelisk. So you want to create that shape, and then you allow them to dry, and within a couple of days they turn into this. Look how gorgeous they are. And basically, to make the quartz, you want to make sure it's solidified, and then the puddles of them, you just basically stick them in there and then allow it to dry, and then just give them a flip every once in a while. This is how I make the quartz crystals in a rock formation, and basically I'm grabbing a spatula or a paring knife, and I'm digging in and scraping a little hole to poke them into, and I'm not really taking out the candy, but I'm just like scratching it and making a little hole. We're going to set these aside and grab some wafer paper. Then we have a sheet of parchment to protect our table. You could use foil as well, or anything that will just protect your table because we're going to paint on it. Right here we have our paint palette, and I like to have 3 different types of paint palettes. One in cool colors, one in warm colors, and another in black and whites and metallics. And right here I have different violets in different shades. So I have like an aubergine, and then I have a mauve. And right here I'm grabbing some edible paint in the shade Kardashian, which is kind of like a royal blue, and adding some mauve and some violet with that as well. And basically I'm painting with a flat brush, and I'm going over the wafer paper very lightly. You don't want to be too heavy, and it's okay if it's streaky. It just adds some beauty and character to it. And later on I'm going to blend it out as well, just like this. So I grabbed a little bit of my lighter shade of mauve and filled in those spots. And I'm continuing to make lines 3 inches in width to make strips later on. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater is stuck in my head right now, but we're going to set this aside to dry. Now grab some plain white wafer paper, and we're creating a strip and then making petals just like this in different sizes. So you want it just like that, and then you want a heart-shaped petal as well, like this.
20 minutes later.
Now that our painted wafer paper sheet is dry, we're going to cut it into strips and then cut out the same exact shapes that you did with the plain wafer paper. So you want the heart shapes and then you want the small petals. And you definitely want to make sure you have a set of 4 small petals and then 1 heart shape for each flower. Now we're going to assemble each little pansy with our best glue. Wata! A little bit of water goes a long way because if you put too much, it tends to shrivel up and dissolve and disappear. So just teeny tiny bit and it'll be stuck on there forever. So you just do 1 petal, then you do the next petal just like this. Then you layer on your second pair of small petals, and you can change up the different shades and tones. You can do some in white, and I did different variations. Also, when you cut, make sure you cut out different sizes so that you have a gradient of different pansies. And right here we have some white food coloring that we're shading in. And the whole idea behind my design is that I want to create a matte look, and the flatness and the look of the pansies to look not too realistic. I want them to be sort of realistic, but at the same time you're like, what is that material? And my biggest rule about my cakes is that I love to always use 100% all edible materials for my cakes. So you can totally eat this entire pansy because it's made out of wafer paper and food coloring. So here we have an 8-inch cake, 6 inches in height, and it's covered in buttercream. I crumb coated it and slightly covered in buttercream so that it looks a little bit rustic. And with the number 3 tip, I am piping and swiping with my spatula. So we're piping and swiping, and I'm also doing it in lavender as well. Or actually it's a periwinkle color because I've added a little bit of royal blue to this violet. I'm also dabbing the residual frosting to give it some texture and to make it a little bit more distressed. And now I'm doing the fun part and adding my beautiful Kohakutou crystals. And right here I'm doing a number 3 tip and piping a little snail-ish looking thing. And I'm doing this so that I can attach all of my Kohakutou crystals onto the cake in a C formation / cascade looking thing. Whenever you design cakes, you always want to think about the itty bitty details, just like this. And I'm piping in itty bitty dots and adding little bits and pieces that you would think would be odds and ends and scraps, but they're really actually beautiful little pieces that you want to make sure you put onto the cake. And you want to think about placement and form and just shape and movement and texture and shine and matteness, and you want to create that balance. And right now we're adding our final flourish of our purple pansies. And there you have it, our purple pansy and quartz cake. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my purple and periwinkle pansy cake. Please be sure to click on the subscribe button and be sure to say hi to me on social media and go to GreggySoriano.com. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye! Click on my face to subscribe, click on the video to view my last episode on the right, And be sure to support this channel by visiting GreggySoriano.com and say hi to me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.